I have been managing to live my life with depression for over 13 years. I was always in the company of people, family, relatives, and friends. I'm social in a way when I get to know the people well, but I'm quiet and somewhat private until I get to know and trust the people around me. When I met my husband, then came to Australia with my daughter, which she was 6 months old at that time, it was a big adjustment on my life as I only know my husband and my daughter and so far away from my family and friends. At the time, I don't have a social media account which I could have used to connect with them, especially to my parents. Only phone calls, which was too expensive. I hardly made calls because of it. I focused on my little family, my husband, and my kids. I only go out to the shop to get some groceries, then back at home. Although I have met people when I was studying, but I stopped going to school and didn't finish my study when I was due to give birth to my son. My instructor was saying that I could bring my son with me at school, but I just laughed, thinking that it would be awkward to look after my baby while doing the class. Then, after the semester ended, I gave birth and forgot about my studies. My attention was focused on looking after my kids and husband while I am recovering from cesarean operation. Months after giving birth, I started feeling low, struggling to get up in the morning. It feels like my life is slipping away from me. Even though I have my husband and kids, I feel stuck on the same routine every day. Waking up in the morning, preparing everything before taking my daughter to kinder, pushing my son on the stroller on the way to school. Coming home, doing household chores, and before I know it, it's time to pick up my daughter again because she's only at school from 9 to 12. On this time, their dad just waking up. I could not really rely on him to help as he has a problem with his health. He couldn't do much around the house. I did what I could to get out of the house, taking my son to his play day to meet other new moms and their newborn. Also, I take my son to his appointment with the nurse at Maternal and Child Health Center for his checkup, like every other month or so. One day, when I went for my son's appointment at the Maternal and Child Health Center, the nurse asked me how am I doing after checking my son. I just answered that I'm good, even deep down inside I wasn't. She just nodded. She didn't ask me to fill some questionnaire about my day-to-day life. How am I coping up with the kids and just the general thing. So I did answer them. When she looked at it, she said to me that I am suffering depression, postnatal depression to be specific. She advised me to see a GP and give me a referral note. I don't have any idea about depression at the time. All I know was that I'm feeling down all the time, struggling to get up in the morning. It seems like I have no energy to do anything. I did go to see my GP and I was given a medication which I started taking it daily. I was told that it would take some time, like a month, for the medication to take effect. My darkest days came one morning. As soon as I opened my eyes, I am already feeling sad, angry, and crying. It feels like I'm carrying the burden of the world on my shoulders. I got up, doing my morning routine, cleaning, getting ready myself ready before the kids wakes up. preparing breakfasts while having all this whirlwind of emotions inside me. I walk my kids so I could get them ready. Walk my daughter to kinder with my son on the stroller. I hang around for a bit longer, looking at my daughter interacting with her new friends and classmates. Feeling so emotional, crying on the way back home. I couldn't understand the overwhelming feeling I have in me. It's too much to handle. I feel so hopeless. The thought of harming myself came in. It was so strong. I broke down crying. My husband had no idea what was going on inside me. He was still fast asleep while my son was on the cot sleeping after being fed, and my daughter was still at school enjoying her day. The struggle I have within myself, trying to understand why I am feeling this way. I had a picture in my head on how to end my life, harm myself so I can stop feeling the way I am feeling. In that short span of time, there's so much going on inside my head. Then the thought came to me hard and fast. What will happen to my kids when I'm no longer around? Who would look after them when I'm gone? When I'm gone, their dad won't be able to take care of them on his own, especially that he has a health problem already. I decided to take a shower, crying so hard. I let the water cool me down. Stay there for a while. When I finished, I got dressed and get ready to pick up my daughter. Instead of driving, I decided to take a walk. That way, I will have more time to reflect on myself. I could have died already if I had not thought of my kids. I would have ended my life already. The scene was vivid. I clearly see it. I thank God that I snapped out of that dark thought of self-harm. I thank God for my kids. They are my angels, as they are the reasons why I did not end my life on that very moment. Years have passed and so many things have happened, including the passing of their dad, which brought so much sadness to my kids and me. I must be strong for them, managing the grief of losing him. I do still have my bad days every now and again. It just comes to me out of nowhere. I just feel like crying, or sometime I just don't feel like doing anything. When I don't have work on the day, I just spend my time lying on the couch. Some days, even when I'm at work, I feel sad. All of the sudden, I stop myself crying as I don't want people to see me. But as soon as I get home, I go straight to my bedroom, lock myself in the toilet and cry my heart out, then come out like nothing have happened. I don't want my kids to see my turmoil, but they know now that I have depression. They know that I have medication for it, which I called happy tablets, because it helps me manage my emotions and thoughts. There were times that I'm irritable and I easily snap at them, even when they are just playing around. When I'm in a good mood, it doesn't matter how annoying they become. I don't mind it at all. I did see a therapist years ago, 2 psychologists and a counselor. Seeing the psychiatrist didn't work for me, but my counselor helps me a lot understanding and managing it. Only a few of my friends know that I suffer depression. I know that they wouldn't understand what I'm going through at times. Heck, I hardly understand it myself. I am the one suffering, but I am managing it. I'm still on my medication, but I am slowly coming out of it. I did try a few times stopping it, but there were triggers that I have had encountered that brings me back to taking them. If you or know anyone that are suffering with depression, please do not hesitate to reach out and seek professional help or talk to your loved ones. It helps if you have someone you can talk to.